All right, guys, I hope we're all having a great day. And in this video, I just want to talk about the one simple change that I made to get 3 times more shredded and get a way better physique, lose more fat, and gain more muscle. So it's very simple. And the change I made was my diet and my eating habits. That's it. My training was good. I was in the gym consistently, but from the period of, this was after I had lost the weight, like after I did like an aggressive cut, a dirty bulk, and this was after high school kind of ended. This is after, I'm trying to remember, what was it? It was like beginning of 2023 to like the end of 2024. That was when I graduated high school and was going to community college. But from that time, I still had fat to lose. I had a lot of fat to lose still. And I was going to the gym consistently. But the problem was that I was being so lazy with my eating habits and I wasn't losing any fat. And in order to lose fat, you have to be in a calorie deficit and you have to be eating whole foods, which is the two things that I did not do. So if you guys haven't heard my story, I'll just go through it really quick. And basically what happened was, in the beginning of 2021, I was fat. I was chubby. I wasn't obese. I wasn't like morbidly obese or overweight, but I was 193 pounds. I had a gut. I had a belly. I had fat fucking nipples. And I had pretty skinny arms. So I was like a fat kid who was like skinny fat. I looked fucking retarded. And it pains me to think about that sight. If you guys want to check out my Instagram and my highlights and pinned posts, you can see what I looked like before. It's in my bio for anyone who's curious. But basically I was a fat kid. And I went through a breakup. I dated this girl for like a month or something like that. And basically I was just fat as fuck and I was depressed and I had no idea what to do. It was my sophomore year of high school. I watched a lot of YouTube. I was like, what do you call it? I watched YouTube videos. I looked up like articles. I tried like intermittent fasting before. I did like all sorts of cardio. But it all came down to the simple fact that all you actually needed to do was be in a calorie deficit. That was the bare minimum of losing weight. So I did that. I got in a calorie deficit and I just did a lot of cardio. But I didn't like lift weights. I didn't prioritize my protein. I wasn't really eating a good diet. I was just eating a lot of processed shit, but I was in a calorie deficit and I felt like I was basically starving myself, and I wanted this really aggressive fat loss, and I lost all my muscle mass. I looked anorexic. So I was skinny. So I went from fat, like skinny fat to /fat to skinny to, I did like a dirty bulk and I gained like a lot of like weight after that for football season for my senior year of high school. I was going into my junior year. And then as I was finishing my junior year, I went into senior year. I was bulking up. I bulked up so I went from 193 chubby to 155 skinny to 200 big and bulky in like 8 months. And then after football ended, I did wrestling and I cut like 20 pounds for wrestling. I lost like 20 pounds. I wrestled at like, no, I cut like 25 pounds. I wrestled at like 172. And then after wrestling ended, which was the beginning of 2023, after that, I kind of got off track. So here's the story. I'm gonna keep this simple for you guys. After wrestling ended, I gained like 10 pounds. I was going to the gym consistently, but I gained weight and I looked like shit, to be honest. I looked like shit. And in my head, I knew why, but I was really, really lazy because, for one, I was doing a lot of partying. I was drinking. Half the days, I didn't even track my calories. I was going out to eat with my friends like every 3 days. We were going to like fucking get like all this horrible food, like fucking like these insane calorie chicken tenders and like Cheesecake Factory and all this kind of stuff. Like, I would go out to eat all the time. I had no balance in my diet, and I wasn't eating healthy. I was eating so much processed shit. And I like went to college, community college for like one semester. I partied, I was drinking, and I honestly was in such a bad place that like my life was very bad at that point. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like I went through a really hard time during that period of my life. Sort of near the end of 2023. But for that, like for like the year of 2023, my diet was shit. I wasn't tracking my calories half the time like I used to when I lost the weight. I wasn't really eating whole foods. Sometimes I was, but I had no idea how much I was eating. I was going to the gym consistently, but I had no idea how much food I was eating. And honestly, like I wasn't eating healthy. I was eating shit foods. Half the time it was processed food, and I wasn't tracking them. Like I wasn't in a calorie deficit. I was like, half the days I was like in my maintenance, and I'd be like, oh, I'll be in a deficit today, whatever. But the next day I just ate like shit. I went to the gym. Like, it's incredible because I see so many people at the gyms that I go to, that I used to go to, every commercial gym, every, LA Fitness, YMCA, and like the gym I currently go to, which is a private exclusive gym. But so many people I see look the same year round. And it's because of this one simple thing. And that is the diet and the eating habits. It's the eating habits. Guys, you can't out-train a bad diet. And I had to realize that. I was like, why am I not losing fat? But then in my head, I knew why I wasn't losing fat. But the problem was that I was so fucking lazy, and I was partying and drinking and eating whatever the fuck I wanted. And I was like 185 pounds when I was in college. I was playing football in college, and I just wasn't even tracking anything. I was so caught up with my life in high school, with sports and college and fucking social life, partying and doing all this shit. I had no balance with my diet. That's the problem. So I kind of just, after I actually dropped out of college to work full time, and the beginning of 2024 is when I really locked in with my diet and I was eating right. So I made this one change, and that was to eat in a calorie deficit again and eat whole foods. That's it. That's all I did. I just changed my eating habits. I trained as hard as I did before in the gym, because my whole life, like 2023 to 2024, that year, that period where I was eating like shit and I didn't track my calories, and I was still going to the gym. I was training hard in the gym. I was training hard. I was going to the gym consistently. But I was eating like shit. Guys, if you want to lose fat and build muscle and look the way you want, your eating habits have to change. That was the change I made. I prioritized my calorie deficit. I tracked them. I found my maintenance. I ate in a deficit. And I ate whole foods, not shit foods, not McDonald's, not this fucking going out to eat shit. I ate whole foods. I cooked my foods. I had more red meat, fruits, more vegetables like chicken. I had more chicken. I had more protein, which was another big thing. You've got to prioritize your protein if you want to lose fat and build muscle. That's what I did. And if, like, in terms of protein, you want to be eating like 1 to 1.5 grams per 1 pound of body weight, which is what I did. I had a lot of protein. I ate a lot of red meat. I had fruits. I started eating things like red meats, eggs. I had more Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, fruit. And as soon as I made that change, combined with a calorie deficit, having more protein, and just lifting with high intensity like I have been, I got way more shredded. I got 3 times more shredded than before. My abs started showing, my obliques were showing, and I looked really good. This happened from the beginning of January to, it was like May. Like, it took me about 4 to 5 months to really see my ab visibility and get shredded. And like burn off that excess fat that was really giving me a hard time. But the change I made was my diet. I said it so many times, I repeated this, I know. But guys, it is so crucial that you are eating in a calorie deficit if you want to lose fat and you're eating whole foods. I'm not trying to be a tyrant and say like, oh, you can't ever go out to eat and you can't ever, have fun and have a night of drinking or go out with your friends or, like go out and go with your family to have a good dinner and have some dessert. Guys, it is totally fine to do that. You can still get shredded. All my clients have done it. I've done it. I've had several cheat days before, and I still got shredded. Because, fun fact, having a cheat day and having way more calories and enjoying your favorite foods and having a lot of food resets your metabolism. It makes fat loss more sustainable, actually, and it helps your metabolism not slow down. It gives it like a reset. So you want to actually have cheat days. But the problem was that I was pigging out like every other day to every day. That was the problem. There has to be balance. You should have a cheat day and then like a day like that every week to 2 weeks. But if you're eating whatever the hell you want and you're not watching how much you're eating and you're eating shit food all the time, you're not going to change the way you look. That's just the reality. I had to realize that. I've done this for over 4 years. And after my cutting and bulking experiences and everything and every series of body transformations that I've ever gone through, it all came down to diet. It all came down to eating habits. Honestly, that's the key. Diet and eating habits are 80% of this, and training is about 20% of it. The only way to out-train a bad diet is if you did cardio for 6 to 7 hours and burn fucking 3,000 to 4,000 calories. And no one here has the time for that. So, guys, eating habits. Go online, find an online calorie calculator, find out your calorie deficit, find out what your maintenance is, and subtract about 300 to 500 calories from that maintenance. And eat in a deficit, prioritize your protein, eat whole foods. You can still enjoy your favorite foods, but have it with a balance, moderate it, and just stay in your deficit. And train in the gym, train with high intensity, train with a purpose, progressively overload, and you'll lose fat, you'll build a nice physique, you'll have a nice frame, you'll tone, you'll build muscle, and you just have to be consistent. This isn't going to happen right away, but over time, as the months pass, you're going to start to see more ab visibility. You're going to lose weight. The scale's going to go down. Your face will get slimmer. And it just comes down to diet, guys. Guys, it comes down to your eating habits. And this is what I tell my clients, too, in my fitness, in my coaching program. That's why I help them with this. Because they came to me and they were, unaware of how much food they were eating. Like Frank, who came to me at first and thought he was eating in a deficit, but he plateaued for a year. Which is why I locked him in the correct calorie deficit, and now he's lost over 30 pounds while building muscle. And if you guys want to check out that video, it's actually the most recent video I made before this, because I did a check-in with him and we just evaluated his progress and we just talked about how he was able to do it and what I did for him. Guys, you should check that out. It's a great video. It's got a ton of value in it. But the guys I'm helping out in my program have struggled with this before. And they were training in the gym, but their diet sucked. No offense to them. I absolutely love them, and they've made incredible progress, but their diet and eating habits were not right before, and that's why I got them in the program. I found their calorie deficit for them, and I told them what to eat, how much to eat, what foods to eat, and they've all lost weight. Jalen, who lost over 20 pounds, was able to do this correctly, and we fixed his habits. We got another guy, another Jalen, who lost about a pound so far. He's in my community coaching. We got, trying to think about, it's Dave, who's actually 65 years old and lost 15 pounds in a month and 8 days, which is absolutely insane. And these guys are all making progress because they're eating right, they're eating in a deficit, and they're training with purpose. So I just want to tell you that, guys, if you're really struggling with this, I have coaching for this, and I have an incredible program. And if you want to get in that, just DM me on Instagram, which is in my bio. It's in my YouTube bio. Just DM me, Level Up, and I will get you in that program and we could get a game plan call going. And we can just reevaluate where you're at and where you're trying to get to. And guys, if you want to check out my progress, it's all over my Instagram page. Client testimonials, wins, transformations, it's all over the place. But besides that, besides the coaching part, guys, prioritize your diet, prioritize your training, do everything I just told you, and you're going to notice that a few months from now, your appearance will change and you're going to look better. It's crazy because like people are like, oh, I go to the gym consistently, but I'm not making any progress. I'm not losing any fat. It's because of your diet. How much calories are you eating? How much of a deficit are you in? Do you know your maintenance? That's all it comes down to, guys. So do those things and you'll look good.